Okay, so for the second recording, I want to talk a little bit more about the codes we actually have in short-term memory. And I'm going to do a little demonstration with two of you. And what we're going to do here is on the front, and we'll go over it for the online group once we run it. I'm hoping maybe I can use Kate and Hannah for this little demonstration. The little demonstration is going to ask you to imagine something. And I'll run each of you one at a time, and you'll be shown a front side of a card, and after you're asked to imagine the front side of the card, I'll turn it over, and then you'll read something, and you'll have to say yes or no as quickly as you possibly can. So I'll run you guys one at a time, if that's all right. So we'll start here, and don't say this out loud. So just read it, because if you're both in here, that would kind of wreck the idea behind it. We'll explain it after. So I'm going to show you something. And don't look at this. Can you do that? Got the idea? Okay, so I'm going to turn the card over, and as quickly as you can, when the card is turned over, it's going to have a statement. Say yes or no as quickly as you possibly can to that statement. Are you ready?
Yep.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Miss Hannah. I'm going to ask you to imagine this situation, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then I'm going to turn the card over, and as quickly as you can, read the sentence and yes or no with if it's correct or not. Okay?
Yes.
Okay. So we did our little demonstration there. So can you share with the class what you were asked to imagine?
A rabbit next to an elephant.
You were asked to imagine, so if you want to write this down for your notes, we did a little study here. It was on the basis of Coslin. It was imagine a rabbit next to an elephant. What were you asked to imagine?
A rabbit next to a fly.
A rabbit next to a fly. Now on the back side of both of your cards, what did it say?
Does the rabbit have ears?
A rabbit has ears. So this is called a sentence verification task. It's called the sentence verification task, if you want to write it down for your notes. So would that be the method? Would that be the results? What would that be?
The method.
That was the method. But we just did it as a little demonstration thing here. What kind of results? Who responded more quickly here? I think it was actually Hannah responded more quickly here. Would that actually be predicted? Imagine a rabbit next to a fly. Imagine a rabbit next to an elephant. It was predicted that the person you had a rabbit next to a fly, the result that we usually obtain, and I think we did get it actually here, we weren't using a reaction time, but was this a chronometric kind of demonstration? It was. We were getting time here. Now, if this was really run as a study, you'd be looking at a screen that would record this. But we usually find people are faster at a rabbit next to a fly and saying a rabbit has ears. So the typical result that you want to write down, people are usually quicker at saying a rabbit has ears if they're first asked to imagine a rabbit next to a fly versus a rabbit next to an elephant. So that's the typical result. What kind of task do we call this? Once again?
Sentence verification.
Sentence verification task. Cognitive psychologists like to do this kind of thing. The question is the meaning. Why? Madison, any thoughts on why people would respond more quickly with it being a rabbit next to a fly versus a rabbit next to an elephant?
Because they're two separate organisms. A rabbit has ears versus the fly doesn't.
Well, you could say that, but does a fly actually have ears?
They're not as prominent as a rabbit.
They're not as prominent as a rabbit, so you're kind of close there. You almost have it. Can anybody add to that?
The elephant's ears are like a big feature, and when you think of an elephant, you think of their face with the ears and the trunk.
So, kind of adding both of those together, the idea is if you're asked to imagine a rabbit next to an elephant is going to be very large with very large ears. The rabbit will be how? Small. A rabbit next to a fly, the rabbit's going to be what?
Larger.
Much larger. This result suggests that in our short-term memory, we do actually have a visual code. We actually visualize things. There are some other studies that have been used to demonstrate this as well, but this suggests that in short-term memory, we have a visual code. Does that work for people? So short-term memory, what we've decided so far, capacity, what's the capacity of short-term memory? Chunks of information, the duration, 10 to 15 seconds. We try to access it. Codes, what kind of codes have we talked about so far? Acoustic and visual seem to be the main two that we actually have here. Uh-oh, we don't like that. Sorry. So we have in this situation, I have one more little task for us here. Let's see. I'll kind of complete the unit. Daisha and Brittany, can I use you two for this particular little demonstration? It is once again, oh wait. Well, you're sitting right next to each other. Let's see if this will still work. Yeah, I think it will. So what I'm going to have each one of you do is I'm going to show you a sentence. And I want you to read the sentence and as quickly as possible say yes or no to the sentence. And when I'm showing one of you, the other one won't look and vice versa. And then we'll talk about what it means. Okay, I'll start with Brittany here. So just going to look this way. I'm going to show you a sentence, just one sentence on one side of a card, and I want you to say yes or no to the sentence as quickly as possible, whether or not it's true or false. Are you ready?
Say yes, what is your guess?
Whether the statement that you see on the card is true or false. Okay, so let me actually ask you to close your eyes for just a second, and actually, we'll have it work straight forward. Keep your eyes closed. Okay. And open your eyes and look at that.
Yes.
Okay? Ready to do the same thing for me? So close your eyes. And when I say go, you'll open them. And then you'll say yes or no to the statement here. Open.
Yes.
Yes. There was a little confound in the study there. Okay, so let's talk about this little demonstration study. In this particular one, was it a sentence verification task again? Yeah, it kind of was. Kind of a true, false. What did I give to each participant? Sorry about that. Kind of made your life a little more difficult by accident.
A robin is a bird.
A robin is a bird. And what did you see?
A robin is an animal.
A robin is an animal. So in this particular task, a robin is a bird versus a robin is an animal. Which situation do you think people respond to more quickly there? A robin is a bird or a robin is an animal? Yeah, people tend to respond more quickly to a robin is a bird. Why is that the case? Why do people respond to a robin is a bird more quickly than a robin is an animal? Why is it that way? Can you guys?
Associating robins or birds as being robins or...
Would you add to that, Daisha?
I imagine a robin as a
feathers and a beak and flying, and birds, most birds have beaks and feathers and they fly.
So they fly, and the idea is if you go, so the basic idea here, so people usually respond quicker to a robin as a bird than a robin as an animal, because when you're given a robin to a bird in your lexicon, we've used that word before, correct?
So does it have to do with schema then?
Yeah, kind of schemas and your lexicon. We consider that in our lexicon, we kind of have three different levels of information. And the three levels are subordinate, let me spell it out for you, subordinate, subordinate, basic, and superordinate, superordinate. Should I say those again, or did you kind of get them down? So we have subordinate, basic, and superordinate. When you're given a robin is a bird, what levels do you think you have to connect there? What levels? It's going from subordinate to basic. Just one step mentally. But Daisha, in your condition, a robin is an animal. How many steps in your lexicon do you really have to take there? 2 steps. What do you think we often find? It takes longer for the 2 steps. So kind of the idea that we have a lexicon that's organized in this way. This was an experiment done just kind of illustrating short-term memory again, that in a sentence verification task, it takes longer to go the 2 steps. Are we being chronometric here? Ashante, are we being chronometric here? Why would you say yes? You'd be correct with that. We would measure time, and they've done these types of experiments. This was just a little demonstration type of situation. So these are kind of some things about short-term memory that we know. The other thing that you might want to write down is with this information, did we talk about the 2 types of systems in, actually this goes a little more into long-term, so we'll hold off on this. So we know in a sentence verification task, you got to go 2 steps for a robin as an animal and only 1 step for a robin is a bird, so we're quicker on it. So we're studying memory by using cognitive psychology, kind of chronometric, recall-based information. Any comments or questions about this situation? Okay, let me stop recording number 2.